Hey guys, welcome to Trading Bitcoin. If those of you that have noticed, I slightly changed the title, and going forward, I'm going to be doing things a little bit differently. As of right now, I am separating the Bitcoin technical analysis and trading podcasts from the traditional trading and technical analysis and economics of traditional markets. So that means I'm not going to talk about the S&P 500 or oil or gold in this podcast, and I'm only going to stick to Bitcoin and your Q&A. Now, during your Q&A, I will entertain questions on altcoins, scam coins, or any hard forks or anything else, basically at my discretion. But the new format is going to be basically Bitcoin, the Bitcoin ecosystem and how it affects price, and then we go to your Q&A. Hey guys, listen, thank you. My previous video in the last 3 days has gotten 30,000 views. That's absolutely insane. My prior video is at 20,000 views. So my views are really, really scaling. It's becoming very difficult for me to read all of the comments, but this is great. And this is why I want to separate the audience, those that care about traditional markets from those that only care about Bitcoin. Now, I understand that 95% of my audience only cares about Bitcoin, but I care about the traditional markets. And this would also force me to keep up with my traditional markets, which is more work for me on the in-between camera time. But it's also because when I quit my job, I always wanted to start like a hedge fund and a family office in traditional markets with maybe some Bitcoin. So that's probably still going to happen because I got friends that were going to do this with me. And because I have to do that next year, I need to really get back to reading and studying traditional markets. So maybe tomorrow I'm going to do a video about traditional markets, and those videos will probably get a lot less views. But for now, the new format is Bitcoin has been separated from traditional markets. So let's go ahead and go. You know what? Let me do. Before I go to this, let me just because I always forget. I always forget. All right. Look, guys. I don't really, as of right now, I do not intend to have any sponsors of the show because I am very, very picky with who I work with and who I align with. Okay. But there is a list of affiliate links in the description of this video. And I would love it if all of these affiliate links simply saved you money on these products, but not all of them do that. But my affiliate link to Crypto HW Wallet will save you money. It's a discount code. My affiliate link to the Cryptomatic will also save you money. It's a discount code, okay? The affiliate codes for TradingView and One Broker, I don't believe they save you money, but they don't cost you any money, right? They just, instead of the companies keeping all of the commissions, they send me back a little bit. And the reason why I have affiliate links for these is because I actually use them, okay? I use One Broker to make small trades in traditional markets using Bitcoin. And obviously, I use TradingView all day, every day, okay? And Magic Money is the only documentary I was in, okay? I don't want to spend too much time on this, so we're going to move on, all right? And since I have a full screen share going, I wanted to talk about this chart, okay? Before we jump into the Bitcoin technicals. And I tweeted this out the other day. I saw it on somebody's Twitter, and it basically compared Bitcoin to other bubbles. So you really have to look at this chart, with a little bit of a grain of salt, okay? Because this chart actually assumes the bubble is here, right? And the bubble is also a price bubble. So a couple of things here. So tulips, that was crazy. If you don't know about the tulip mania, that's probably one of the craziest bubbles in history, okay? The South Sea bubble and the Mississippi bubble, as you can see, they happened back to back, and they were basically very, very similar. They were real companies that were basically overhyping what they can do, right? So it was basically, I mean, read about them. They're also very classic bubbles where people thought that one company was going to rule the world, right? And that didn't go too well. Now, some of these other ones, right? You really have to take them with a little bit of a grain of salt, right? Because if we look at oil, see, look at the oil bubble. The oil bubble is from 2005 to 2008, right? But oil's been around for 100 years, okay? So it had a little bit of a price bubble in during going into the housing bubble. But so what? So what, right? I mean, Bitcoin isn't like oil in 2005, 2008. If you want to talk about Bitcoin in terms of oil in 2005, 2008, then this should say, 2105 until 2000, like it's in the future, right? So Bitcoin is like oil, but not oil today. Oil in, 1895 oil, right? When oil was first discovered and how useful it was, right? So oil basically went from being worthless to, giving us the industrial revolution. So Bitcoin can do the same thing. Bitcoin was actually worthless in 2009. In fact, it wasn't even worthless. It was worth negative amount of money because you had to mine Bitcoin. So you had to spend electricity to get Bitcoin, but it wasn't worth anything. Okay. So Bitcoin actually had a negative value in 2009, just like oil. Oil had a negative value in 1880 because in 1880, if you bought a giant piece of land in Texas to feed your cows and you stuck a shovel into that land and a bunch of black goo came out, your land is pretty much worthless, okay? But then about 10 years later, there were, uses for oil in the Industrial Revolution were discovered. And there you go. And all of a sudden, you're sitting on $1 billion property, well, equivalent to those times, right? So that's how you have to look at it. And the same thing with stocks, right? Everything else is stocks. But even the tech bubble, right? I'm sure the tech bubble is on here somewhere. Yeah, I'm not really going to talk about. Oh, really? Shouldn't the Great Depression? There it is. There's the Great Depression. So let's see here. U.S. stocks. Where's the tech bubble? 93 tech bubble. There it is, right? So even the tech bubble, right? Yeah, the Nasdaq got a little bit out of control, but look at the S&P 500. Look at the Dow. They didn't go nowhere near as high as the tech stocks did, but the internet never went away. Like the internet just became more and more useful. The bubble was in useless companies, trying to, do some, trying to tell you that they're going to do something that they're unable to achieve. So if you want to compare the tech bubble to Bitcoin, that's the ICOs, that's the shit coins, that's Ethereum, that's, all of these other ones, all of the Bitcoin forks. That's the comparison, not Bitcoin, right? I mean, sure, Bitcoin price might get a little bit out of control here and there, and it's going to correct. But if you're going to compare Bitcoin to the tech bubble, you got to compare the ICOs and the altcoins to the tech bubble because they're the ones that are promising something. Bitcoin is just promising and trying to achieve censorship-resistant value transfer. And yes, it's not the fastest, and yes, it's not the most anonymous, but it works. Internet wasn't the fastest thing in the world in 1994, 95. Those of you that are old enough like I am will probably remember waiting for, a nice picture of Cindy Crawford or Pamela Anderson loading on your dial-up for 20 or 30 minutes. Okay, I'm not going to get into the details of what kind of a picture that was, right? So this is what people were doing back in like 97, 90, like 95 to 97. Let me not give my age away fully here, okay? Let's just say we were young. Anyway, that was it. It wasn't the fastest. It wasn't the best, but it worked. It always worked. Okay. So there you go. So you really got to be careful when you're trying to understand bubbles and hype mentality. You got to take it back to the technology. And when you take it back to the technology, it'll lead you back to core developers. Okay. All right, let me close this. Don't save. All right, and I'll leave that for now. Let me switch screen share. Let me switch screen share to application. Okay, and speaking of core developers, even though I'm not really gonna pull this up. Hold on a second here. Maybe I'll just grab the page and bring it down. Okay. If you want to know about core developers, right? Oh, I don't think you're seeing this. Let me see here. There you go. You see that? Yep. If you want to know more about core developers, I recently got put on this page on bitcoin.team. I wish it was a little bit more detailed, but this is where you can see the history of the core developers and how many commit lines they've done and what they did. I got to get a few people to I'm working. I want to put together something to like explain core developers, but I'm going to talk about this more often. Like, know who your core developers are, okay? Because these other coins, they ain't got none. Okay. All right. Well, I guess I'll leave that there. Twitter. My Twitter has been blowing up. It's amazing what happens when you have 55,000 followers. Like, everything I say gets I can only imagine. Like, this is why Vitalik is always in trouble, because he always says something stupid. Now, I also say something stupid, but clearly not as stupid as Vitalik. But yeah, if I say something, if I call somebody a scammer, if I say something's a scam, yeah, they get really, really pissed. They do, because of my following, right? So don't get on my bad side. We'll keep it simple, okay? All right, Bitcoin. The price is flying for a couple of reasons, for a couple of several reasons, okay? And we're gonna talk about that. Man, I also tweaked my back, so it's hard to like sit in the chair this whole time. All right, I don't have anyone helping me with questions, so please do not send me questions yet. And when I ask you to send me questions, you gotta like ping my name, or you gotta do it with a tip, because the chat scrolls so fast, as I usually have like 2,000 live viewers now, and it's hard for me to catch your questions. But if they're coming with a tip, even if it's a $1 tip, then they stay at the top of the list, and then I can always view them and answer them. All right. Okay, a couple of things, right? So on my Learn Trading, page, right? I mean, the section that's going to be new to people is section 6. So please read the links. One of those links is right here, TD sequential math rules. Okay, that will take you to this page. So I know a lot of people are looking at this indicator now, and I just want to make it clear, like, my rules are coded fairly well. There is a couple of things. I do not have the TD intersection coded in. I will try to work on that by year end, okay, and add that into the code. Also, I have not programmed in this part B. I honestly didn't think it was all that important, but it looks like it is, because I constantly have to mention it. So keep in mind that part B of the math rules is also not coded into the code, right? This is probably the next thing I need to work on, but I got to get a developer on it, because I'm not very good with PineScript code, but I'll try and figure out myself. Okay, and my code slightly differs from Wall Street, which helps me, avoid trademark violations. All right. Next, let's see. Do we want to go monthly? All right. This is one of the differences. Monthly is on a 9. The Wall Street version is going to be on a 7. So this doesn't tell me much. It just tells me to be careful this month. It always did. And if we go to new highs, then maybe we have a few more months of upside. Bitcoin has been on an unprecedented run. I continue to talk about the mempool. So right now, Bitcoin mining is a little bit in disarray, mostly because of the B trash, right? Like, B trash is stealing some of the miners. So I was on Jimmy Song's channel this morning. I forgot to ask him a question, the following question, but I know the answer to it. If there's anyone out there that thinks that B-Trash and Bitcoin can coexist, that person's an idiot. Do not listen to them. Do not believe anything they say. No two coins can even come close to coexisting if they share the same what do you call it, mining algorithm, because they are directly competing for each other's miners. They cannot coexist. Next, even now the question is, what if the coin has a different proof of work so that it's not directly competing with Bitcoin, right? The question is, will the miners be able to be used for that, right? Like basically, if a Bitcoin miner can be redirected to another coin, they are in direct competition. It is impossible for them to coexist. I will make the argument that even if two coins are both proof of work, they cannot coexist long term, because at the end of the day, you are competing for investment in hardware. You are competing for electricity. At the end of the day, I don't see multiple hard proof of work coins coexisting. I see one being a minor test net. I see one being 1% of mining hash power versus the rest. But I don't see 100 coins at 1% mining power to Bitcoin, right? Because that's equal, right? Like if you combine, like if you're in a world where Bitcoin, it has X amount of mining power, but all the other proof of work coins combined have more hash power on top of them if you add it together. That means that Bitcoin is garbage to me, right? Because then if every one of those miners mining a shitcoin all joined together one magical day, they would have more mining power than Bitcoin. Then the network, I don't see how the network would be trusted long term, right? I mean, we all trust the internet. We trust the fact that we wake up in the morning and the internet's there, okay? Almost like 90%, 99% of every business in the first world depends on the internet, okay? They don't depend on the internet and 150 different copycats of the internet. They depend on the internet, okay? So this is one of the problems. And this is why I'm expecting one proof of work blockchain the way we have one internet. And everyone tries to argue with me on this, and that's fine. You can argue, but that's pretty much my view on it. So going back to the mempool, there is not this much activity in Bitcoin, okay? The reason why the mempool is at 20 megabytes is a combination of Bitcoin losing, having a big chunk of its mining hash power simply disappear because of the issues in China and potential government ban on mining, and I guess the competition from Bcash and the upcoming Bcashic fork and the upcoming Bitcoin Cash Plus fork. Okay, so that's going to add a little more competition to Bitcoin mining. Now I'm expecting that competition to take a big chunk out of the Bcash mining versus the Bitcoin mining. Okay, so look, this is an issue, right? This is not real. It's very difficult to analyze the fundamentals of Bitcoin when you see, I don't want to call it manipulation. Like, I don't really believe in manipulation, right? I believe in long-term manipulation. I believe in skimming. I believe in doing bad things for a personal gain, right? But this is more of a coordinated attack against Bitcoin to make things complicated and make it harder to use and make it harder to analyze. I need to see real numbers. Without real numbers, I can't assess it. I saw real numbers in transactions between the end of October and between the end of August and early October, where the mempool was bone dry. That told me very few people actually use Bitcoin. Okay, that still worries me a little bit. Now, can the hype of Bitcoin and institutional investments in Bitcoin continue to keep the price up? Of course it can, okay? But as far as on the ground demand, isn't very high, okay? So keep that in mind. So this mempool, while the Bcash guys are screaming that Bitcoin is unusable, this is basically not real. And sooner or later, this will go back to zero because, continuously spamming Bitcoin is expensive and fees are going to go up and more miners are going to come and mine Bitcoin to get those fees. Because if someone has to move $1 million, they'll pay $100. That's not a problem. Okay. And while they're spamming the mempool, I will not be, consolidating my Bitcoin. I will not be, using them for small transactions. So it's just the way it is. It's just life. Okay. All right, let's go back to the price. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, so this is the monthly chart. Look, the monthly chart, we've been on a tear. We've been on a tear. Most people are new here. Most people are new to Bitcoin, right? I mean, look at this month. Look at the month of November. The month of November was ridiculous, okay? We're actually, but this is a logarithmic chart, okay? So the month of November started at about $200, okay? The month it closed at $1,100. Okay, so this month gained about $900 in value, but it went from $200 to $1,100, which is pretty much over 5x the price of Bitcoin in 1 month. Okay, so now, so look at this. So the month of May, we opened at 1350 and we closed at 2,300, right? So that's almost $1,000 gained. Now it's more than the month of November, but by percentage, it's nowhere near as much. Okay. Then we had an even bigger gain the month of August. In August, we opened at about 2,850 and we closed at about 4,750, right? So that was almost $2,000 in gains that month. Okay, just under $2,000 in gains. But by percentage, it was still less than 100%. It wasn't 500%. Okay. And the last month in October, we had another good month, right? We opened at 4,300 and we made it all the way to 6,400. So we made another 2,000 in gains that month, right? So look, Bitcoin is going up very, very fast. There isn't that much Bitcoin on exchanges compared to the Bitcoin supply out there. Okay. And big institutions, they're not actively trading. They're buying it for the longer term. Like my analysis is a little more longer term than shorter term. Okay. This month is still not over. This month we can still top. Okay. So this is why I'm still very, very careful. And when it comes to Bitcoin. All right. Here's the daily chart. Okay. Here's the daily chart. So what am I looking at? Okay. So everyone is going to love to say how wrong I was, okay, on my bearish views. Here's the reality, right? Oh yeah, I should probably pull up what I wrote. Yeah, hold on a second, guys. Because I tweeted this out last night. Let me change screen share here. Instead of application, I'm going to do screen. All right, here's what I tweeted out last night. Now, and I want to talk about it in detail a little bit because not everyone's on Twitter, but more people might be, watching the videos. Okay. I started to be cautious around this 9. Okay. I said around this 9, you want to look for your exit. And once we broke out, I raised my targets. And once we hit this 9, when was this? On November 5th. I don't even have to look at the dates because I remember it, right? Once we hit this 9, there was a combination of a topping doji and one of my 9s with the big red arrow, okay? This is where I was very, very adamant about, as a trader, not as a buy and holder. I mean, I held throughout all of this. I never really got scared holding my Bitcoin. As a trader, this is where you take your profit and you wait and see what happens, okay? Now, the market did not make it easy on you. The day that the 2x fork was canceled, people got whipsawed. We made a higher high intraday, and we had a slightly higher close that day, but it was already becoming a weekday. Okay, so the same indicator that told you to get out at 7,500 told you that you can short Bitcoin just below 7,000. Okay, now this short trade worked out pretty damn good because for the next 72 hours the price fell all the way to like 5,400 on at least whatever exchange this is, right? I heard on other exchanges it fell all the way back to 52. Things vary. Now, did I expect it to go lower all the way to 5? Well, the answer is yes, right? The environment was also very scary and people started to get very, very pessimistic. Did we make it to 5,000? Well, obviously not, right? So the question is, how wrong was Tone in the call? Well, it's not up to me to judge how wrong I was, right? It's up to you to judge how wrong I was. I called the top at 7,500. I would never short Bitcoin. I think it's crazy, but looking at it, uh, you know, in an unbiased way as any other asset, the short play was on the table at 7,000. It made it as low as 5,400. So even if you obviously it bottomed in exactly the way you expect something to bottom, you only had like 3 minutes to get out at the low. So when could you have gotten out and realized, you know what, this shit ain't going any lower on my trade? Well, at least somewhere in the 6,500s, right? I mean, that's up to you as a trader. I'm not here to trade for you, right? I'm just here to identify good entries and exits. And it's up to you to have your proper stop losses in place, to have your risk analysis in place, and see how much you're willing to risk and not. So even if you took the short trade, even if you, okay, so if you got out properly and you took the short trade properly, it should have been a profitable trade. Now the question is, when do you go back in on the long trade? And the answer is, I don't know. You know, it's up to you. All I can tell you is it depends on how you're trading. If you're trading this indicator, the one that I've been in love with the last few months, ever since I mean, I've been doing these videos way before I started utilizing this indicator, right? If you're using this indicator and you're one of my, numerous consulting clients that have inquired about it and have been reading and learning about it, the log entry using the daily chart was right here last night at around, I don't know, 8, 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern time, at the moment the price went above the previous high. But that's using only this one indicator, okay? I made it very clear that I would not be in a rush to jump into this for several reasons. One is the fact that we have gone up way too fast. I mean, we just moved $2,000 in 3 days, okay? That's more than we fell, pretty much, right? I mean, we've gone up faster than we fell. Now, this is something that people like Martin Armstrong refer to as a slingshot. Everybody goes bearish, and then they all get caught by surprise, even professional traders. Now, people are side channeling me, telling me how perfectly they played this and they bought back in around here. Would I have done it? No, I would not. But again, I don't sit in front of my computer all day trading Bitcoin. Okay. If I did, I wouldn't be doing these videos. So my view on it is this: 7,000 was supposed to be, and I highlight, supposed to be very significant resistance. And by the way, please read all this. I'm not going to go into it right here, but it's on my Twitter. You can also pause the video later and read that. Okay. So let me go back to the charts here. Let me move this. I'm actually going to change screen share to applications before I dox myself. I have a that's one of my talents, is doxing myself on the internet. Um, hold on a second, guys. Okay. So what are we looking at here? Like, I don't remember the last time Bitcoin went up this much, right? Like, it's a big move. It's a big move, and it's going into a resistance cluster, right? This right here, this is what worries me. What worries me is if I go to a classic, all right, trolls, you're gonna love this. I mean, it's not going away, right? I'm trying to make this B trash thing go away, but it doesn't work. Like every time I come here, I go coin market cap and it just shows up, but I click on this. All right. So sooner or later it'll go away. Classic bubble. Images. Oh God. Didn't know that was gonna come up. But anyway, look, this worries me, right? This return to normal bull trap, right? That really shouldn't be a bull trap. I mean, this is actually more of a bear trap because then you get caught, and then this is the bull trap. So this is what worries me, right? Like I would rather. I can't draw on this, unfortunately. Like let's just put it this way: I would rather buy right here. Like I would rather get caught in the bear trap and buy here than here. Like I'd rather wait for it to make a new all-time high, right? I mean, and that's the point here. I should probably close that. And that's the point. So where were we? Here, okay. My point is that you could have done it. I mean, if you did it, that's a great trade. I'm more of a swing trader, and when I see a price move that much, and I miss it, and I miss the entry, like I missed this entry. I missed this entry. I don't like to chase. Like I don't chase. I don't chase assets. If I miss it, I miss it. Okay. This is one of the things you do as a trader. So I don't remember how I talked about this candle, but you know what? This candle was different. All right. Because when we hit this 9, we were not in the same weekly top and the same monthly top. So when we hit this 9, I'm pretty sure I was talking about a 1 to 4 day correction than higher, in which case I probably would have properly said you can buy this candle right after this candle. This is back in October 18th. This time around, it was different because this time around, your weekly was more toppy and your monthly was more toppy this time around, right? So I wasn't as confident in a 1 to 4 day correction, and it wasn't a 1 to 4 day correction. We went a lot lower. In fact, we gave us a bear trade. This is why I'm not in a rush to buy this yet. I need more proof that we're ready for 8,000 than this 3-day $2,000 rally, right? Because we can go down 3,000 as of tomorrow. Like I just don't know. What would make me confident that we're ready to go up to 10K? I mean, these lines still stay. These lines still stay. It's more important to me that I'm entering a trade with 80% confidence that I'm going to be right than 50-50 guess. And to me, everything here was a 50-50 guess, even though my own indicator told me to buy it. Even though my own indicator, or not my indicator, but the indicator that I love the most told me to buy it. Okay. Let's look at some more traditional stuff. Okay. So here's the MACD and the RSI, right? So look, the MACD is still on a bearish crossover and is still trending down. The RSI is, it went down, but it never made it to oversold. The MACD never really made it that low. Like by all traditional metrics, we're overbought. We're still overbought here. There's other problems. There's other problems in Bitcoin right now. The other problem is that by not going all the way to 5,000, we left yet another gap. you don't want to see gaps. See, we didn't leave a gap here. We covered it. We didn't leave a gap here. We covered it. But we left a gap here. And that's unfortunate because, if we go to above 10K, I'm no longer going to be worried about the 1300, the gap around 1300, but I am going to be worried about the gap around 5,000. Had we fallen to 5,000 and then gone to 10,000, I would have been a lot more confident in the fact that we're not going back to 5,000. Okay. All it is probabilities. And once again, I'm looking at the daily chart. And at this point, what I want to see is consolidation. I want to see consolidation between 7,500 and 7,000. Or if I see consolidation between 6,800 and 7,000, which is at this point is very unlikely. If I saw a consolidation and the formation of an ascending triangle, I would have recommended or suggested buying the breakout of 7,000 if 7,000 would have slowed down this current momentum. By busting through 7,000, I'm not confident here, right? I'm just not. And this is not the trade I would want to make. Okay. Now, you should be holding Bitcoin. You should be like, a lot of the smarter people are holding 80 or 90% of their Bitcoin and trading with the other 10%. That's how you really should do it. Okay. But in any case, so there's a couple of things I'm now looking for. I mean, look, that is a buy point based on this indicator. I'm not going to deny that, but I would have been cautious. I would probably not have done this trade, or maybe I would have done a very small trade and added to it. At this point, we're in a giant resistance cluster. Once we get to, let's say, 7,400 and don't immediately correct, or even here, right? We made it how high? I wanted to see it go a little bit higher than that. But in any case, if we're close enough to 7,500 and we stay there for 48 hours or so, then I'll have a lot more confidence that we're ready for 8K, 9K, 10K. But right now, I don't know what's going to happen. Just like when we were flying to 7,800, the day that thing was canceled, I said, whoa, like you got to relax here a little bit because we're toppy. You don't know how the next 24 hours will play out. And it turned out to be a very good cautious stance because the next 5 days turned out to be a disaster from the $7,800 high to the $5,400 high. Okay. So same thing here. If I see it slow down and give me something, probabilistically optimistic, I'll then say, hey, you know what? The market got you. You weren't able to time the dip. At least I wasn't. Hope some of you guys did. And then we'll see. Okay. Now, if we stabilize in this area and then start to go up, then sky's the limit. Then sky really is the limit. Okay. Bitcoin futures are going to come. This whole Square Cash thing might be something, hedge funds getting in. So that's kind of how I see it. All right. Let's go to the 4-hour chart. Let's see what it told you. So yesterday on Jimmy's channel, I drew this downward trend line because that's what it looked like to me. I believe I drew it around this candle here at, it's a 4-hour, right? So I think I drew it here. Wait, what's going on here? If that's 2,300. Oh yeah, why is that? Oh yeah, it's 300, right? So this is so this candle was 3 in the morning for me. That means this candle was 7 in the morning for me. So it was around this candle right here, right? And I drew this downward trend line because that's what it looked like. It looked like a lower high with this red line being significant resistance. Okay. Here's how I like to trade. To me, this is not how I like to see bottoms, right? Because look, you had a lower close, but a higher intraday. I really don't like those. I really don't like those. I mean, these kinds of You did have a MACD cross. These kinds of moves where you have a lower close but a higher intraday low are, for me personally, very difficult to trade and identify. Okay, I've never been able to consistently find a way to have a probabilistic viewpoint of where it's going next. Okay, if someone has statistics or someone has traded this kind of phenomenon where the candles are closing lower but the intraday prices are higher, I would love to hear it. Okay, leave it in the comments. But I don't know how to trade the situation. To me, this usually says we're going lower. Okay, this to me says we're going lower. Now, in this case, we clearly did not, right? Because you have to realize that your momentum indicators like RSI and MACD, they use closing prices. They do not use intraday prices. So is this divergence or isn't it divergence? I don't know, right? It's very, very difficult to judge, okay? Chances are there was some divergence here, but the MACD went lower. And this is what I mean. These are very, very difficult to trade. Now, was this indicator helpful? Well, maybe, right? Because if you were using this indicator on the 4-hour, where is it telling you to buy and where is it telling you to go to cash and stuff, right? So it's telling you to buy right here, right? So that's a buy point. But then it's telling you to go to cash right here on this red one. Where's the next time it's telling you to actively make a trade? Well, if you go to cash on this one, you made some money, right? Where's the indicator telling you to buy again? Well, once again, right here. The moment the 2 candle started trading above the 1 candle. Okay, once again, this indicator is telling you to buy. And there are free versions of this indicator, by the way, guys. You don't have to, do a consulting session with me to get mine. If you are, you can always, go here and just, punch things in like this or like this. Right? So there are free versions of this. I mean, I believe mine is a lot better, but mine isn't freely available. So now that we've broken above 7,000, can 7,000 be support? It can be, but it will be difficult for 7,000 to be support because we did not go high enough above 7,000 for it to be real support. So once again, like I'm refraining from like theoretically trading the situation. I want to wait. And look, maybe I'll wait till 10,000. Like, I don't know. I don't know, right? But when it comes to trading, you got to preserve your capital. You got to, you can't take on unnecessary risk. So I want to see what happens here, right? Look, maybe this moving average is going to be critical. Like, look at this moving average, right? This is the 4-hour chart. This is the simple 50-day moving average. Should I take the simple 50-day moving average seriously? Let's take a look. I know I should probably get to your Q&A soon, but these videos always go on too long. It acted as support right here. Man, it's a bad circle, right? It acted as support right here. Okay. It acted as support again here. Should probably make these green, but right. And then we broke down below it. Let's make it red. Should have made those green, but oh well. Then we broke down below it and it immediately acted as resistance. Okay, that's what you got to realize. Right here, it wasn't perfect resistance, but it was close enough. And now we've broken above it. and the next candle retested it, right? So at the least, like if I was to even consider a bullish entry in Bitcoin, I would love to see it at least pull back to the moving average, uh, and then bounce, right? And then ideally, like I would want it to get stuck like a little bit in this vicinity, something like this. Um, something like that. Oh, and by the way, these arrows, like this green arrow, this red arrow, and these green arrow, I mean, they were drawn a long time ago. Now I was supposed to delete this arrow last time, but I forgot, and it's so funny how not deleting this arrow turned out to be exactly correct. But that's just pure luck. That's just pure luck and guessing, guys. That's all it is. All right. Um, so am I bullish on Bitcoin right now because of this monster move? I have to be. But is it tradable? I don't think so. Like to me, this was very difficult to trade. Hence, I was not able to properly time it. Now, could you have made money trading this indicator? Well, obviously, yes, right? Because you would have gone long here. You would have went to cash here. There was never a short entry. This green 2 never gave you a long entry. And then you got a long entry right here the moment this 2 went above this 1. Anyone that traded it that way made really good money on this up move. Would I have done it? Probably not. Obviously, in hindsight, I should have, but probably not because I would have been scared. I would have been scared to make this trade, thinking that this is a bull trap as part of. Oh, I already closed it. Control Shift T. I mean this. Yeah, probably do this. Much better. Much better, right? Because of this. Because of this. Because of this. Kind of how they are, right? It's kind of how things pop. It's kind of how things pop. Just a price bubble, guys. Is that wrong with Bitcoin technology? Um, that's pretty much my only example here, right? So that's probably why I wouldn't have done it, because of the classic bubble chart. Okay, in price. All right, that's daily. That's 4 hour. Let's go to the hourly. How good was the hourly chart helping you? Well, not that well, right? I mean, see, look at the hourly chart, right? To me, this was a double bottom, right? And as you guys know, I do not like double bottoms. Like when we came to this area, I was expecting lower prices. That's what usually happens. Okay. That's what happened here and here and here. And I was expecting it to happen there. Okay. That's just how it is most of the time until you get caught, like that. Right. This is how it normally goes down. Right. So treating this as a double bottom, you were right. Then you break down treating this as a double bottom, you were right. Treating this little one as a double bottom, you were right. Treating this big one as a double bottom, you were wrong. You're going to be wrong sooner or later. The question is, are you able to immediately recognize it and just cut your losses short? Hope you are as a trader. But I can't help you with your stop losses. I can give you a general idea of where to put them, but you're pretty much on your own. It's also why I like to trade the bigger time frames than the smaller ones. Now, here's the hourly chart. These numbers are fairly useless on the hourly chart most of the time. Let's see what happens. I mean, this candle needs to go back to new all-time highs, and not all-time highs, but new rally highs in order to give you a green 8. That's not happening. There's only 6 minutes left, so that's definitely not happening. So you're about to get a bull cross. Like even the hourly chart, like things aren't going bullish yet, right? Like here's the thing, right? Here's the death cross. Here's the death cross on the hourly chart, right? When was the last time we had a golden cross? Let's go back. Here's the last time we had a golden cross. Okay. The price of Bitcoin at the golden cross was $5,800. If you traded the golden cross, it took you all the way to 7,500. Okay. That's a nice $2,000 move. If you did not exit at that time and you waited until the bearish cross, and I love it when the price is near the cross. So I've talked about this on numerous videos, right? Like I want to see a cross happen as the price pulls back into the cross or as the price is crossing near the cross. Like I hate it when the cross is here, but the price is there, right? So even if you would have waited till the cross, where are you exiting? You're exiting at 6,800. So that's $1,000 gain. Yeah, this looked ugly, and I was expecting this to go much lower. So this means that the bull cross is going to come in, somewhere in this area, sometime tomorrow or later today, even. All right. Sometime tomorrow or later today, you're going to have a golden cross. So ideally, what I want to see is I want to see the price pull into the cross and then bounce out of it. Okay. So these are all the signs. These are all the things I would need to be positive about a trade, right? Like if I see one of these, like I just want a safe entry. I want a safe entry, a safe bullish entry. So if we get the same phenomenon out of the golden cross on the hourly chart, like we did on the bear cross, right? Like so from the bear cross, the price went down over $1,000. From the last bull cross to this cross, the price went up, over $1,000. So if the price is able to pull back in here, and then we get the cross, we can get another $1,000 move, and that would be great. But here's the best part. If we get some kind of a good entry, right? And notice here, right? This is a 4-hour chart. If we pull into this cross by end of day tonight, then we're going to bounce from the 50-day moving, and then things can line up. The 4-hour can line up with the 1-hour, and this will pull back a little bit back to below 7, consolidate around the 7, and then create the necessary momentum needed to get to all-time highs and break all-time highs. Like what you really want is you don't want to break all-time highs at the end of a big run. You want to break all-time highs at the beginning of a bull run, not at the end of it, right? Now, according to this time indicator, we're still at the beginning, right? But I would love to see some consolidation here and then break out on like candle, 4, 5, or 6, right? And then have momentum for the next, 3 to 4 days. Okay. I don't really want to see breaking all-time highs on a candle that's like the greatest candle at the very end of the candle. It's really hard to explain, right? Like, I really want to see 7,500 broken at the beginning of $1,000 day, not at the end of $1,000 day. And I know Bitcoin is weird because of a 24-hour market. All right, that's pretty much all I have to say. I'll go to your questions, guys. I don't have anyone helping me with questions today. I'm going to flip my camera on. I'll go back to screen share when I need to. I've been on for an hour. I still have 2,300 viewers. I guess I got to try to cut these down somehow, but I don't even know. You know me, I like to talk. All right, let me take your questions. Try to ping me or, man. Try to ping me, or like leave like a little bit of a tip so that your question stays and doesn't disappear, because chat scrolls really fast. All right. First question: what indicator should I use to see the golden cross? I mean, it's just moving averages, guys. You really need to know this. This is just moving averages. Again, I'm gonna go back to screen share. Oh God, I forgot to talk about the most important thing. I'm such an idiot. I still have 2,300 viewers though. So that's moving averages right here. Moving averages. So learn this. It's on my website. Education, learn trading. It's right here. I forgot to talk about the most important thing. I added a section for trading seminars on my website, and here it is. I will be doing a seminar in Toronto. I'm renting the room. Someone is helping me out, so thank you. I'll find out if I can, name drop. But someone is helping me rent a conference room in downtown Toronto for at least 4 hours, possibly more, depending on how many people. It's on a Saturday. It's on December 9th in Toronto, Canada. And I will be doing one of these trading seminars. Now, the price is going to be 0.1 Bitcoin. So it's the same price as 1 hour of my time, but you'll have at least 4 hours in a class with a maximum capacity of 20 people. Okay. So what you need to do is you need to contact me, and my contact information is at the bottom of the page. And this is in trading seminars. And then I'm going to be in Singapore in January, and I'll try and do something there. I should be in Mexico February. I'll do something there. And I might be in South Africa in March, but there's something about having 2 consecutive empty pages in your passport to go to Africa, and I may not have that. So due to stupid passport regulations, and I don't have time to get a new passport now. So I would like to go to South Africa, but it really depends whether my passport will allow me to go there. Okay. This is also why I can't go to Brazil, and why I can't go to Venezuela, and I can't go to any other country that requires a visa, because I just no longer have the pages in my passport. And I can't get a new passport right now, because then I would lose my Russian visa. It's a really shitty situation. So that means I'm stuck, and I can't go to countries with visas for at least another year or two. But I might run out of pages in like a year that I'm forced to get a new passport. And no, you can't add extra pages to your passport anymore. The US has stopped doing that. Okay. So seminar, Canada, Toronto, December 9th. Email me, telegram me, and I'll send you the information. And there you go. Okay. I will be talking about this indicator, and I'll probably give the code to people if they're paying 0.1 Bitcoin to attend. Okay. The price is 0.1 Bitcoin. We'll see if I sell out 20 people. If I continue to sell out these 20 people seminars, the price will probably go up, because I don't want these classes to be 100 people again. I can't manage it. It's just too many people, guys. Sorry. Right. So you got to learn moving averages. I mean, all right. Next question. Do you think a lot of amateur shitcoin traders are going to get caught out by their local tax collection agency? Probably not. Probably not, right? Because there's only like 3 collection agencies that are problematic. So probably not. And remember, if you're trading shitcoins, you're doing it on an anonymous exchange. So if you're doing it right, you can get away with it. Well, what can I say? So probably not. But if you go out and start buying, Bentleys, yeah, they'll get you. All right. Guys, for some reason, the number of coins Roger Ver has goes up every single month. I don't know how many coins he has. Do I think he has 500,000 Bitcoin? No. Do I think he has 300,000 Bitcoin? No. If I had to guess, I'd say closer to 100,000 Bitcoin. But considering how much he's spending on astroturfing and destroying Bitcoin, I'm not sure how much he has anymore. He can be broke for all I know. I have absolutely no idea. All right, let's see. Hey, I got a tip. So this question goes in. Thank you, the bad virus. What are your nice? Hey, you know what? It's a good question. I'll answer it. Hey, Tone, serious question. What are your favorite pizza toppings, and to what extent does that affect your Bitcoin trading strategy? For example, sometimes when I eat pepperoni, the price goes down. Asking for a friend. All right. Now this may sound like a joke, but I'm gonna actually answer this question seriously. So here's the thing. My pizza toppings are meat, and more meat. Okay. I am. I'm a meat eater. I'm a meat and fish. Like I eat a lot of meat and fish. So before I became a Bitcoiner, my hobby was diet and exercise. And even if you go to libertylifetrail.com, oh, I just removed it actually. I left the travel in order to fit everything on my menu on the menu here. And I don't want to hear that my website is from the 1990s. That's on purpose. I know that I did that on purpose. Those were the best websites. I'm reliving my youth. So I had to think here for health and fitness because that was my hobby. My hobby was diet and exercise. And when I was 100% paleo diet for like a year and a half, I never thought clearer. I never like my brain activity was never like sharper. So I'm trying to get back into health and fitness. So that means I can only eat gluten-free pizza. And if I go paleo, I can't eat cheese either, right? So you can't eat dairy and you can't eat bread. So you can barely eat tomato sauce, right? I mean, even tomatoes are borderline allowed on the paleo diet. So when I was on 100% paleo, my pizza toppings would be the toppings. It would be pepperoni, sausage, ham, and some pineapple, right? And veggies. Though I'm not a big fan of veggies on pizza, right? So yeah, so I'm all about the meat. And when I don't eat pizza, I make much better life and trading decisions because I think clear. All right, next. Someone's asking for technical analysis on Litecoin. I think this video is running a little bit long. Let me see what other questions I have. You told last video that Bitcoin was on bubble. Well, it was on bubble watch. Other videos said you didn't see any bubble. It's a good question. What makes you change your opinion? Okay, so the word bubble isn't really defined, right? So here's my thinking here, right? Here's my thinking. Where's coin market cap? All right, I'm gonna continue to try and like change my favorite sites, right? So coin market cap still comes up with this stupid B trash. All right. Here's the thing, right? Like I know I shouldn't be using coin market cap, but I'm just forced a habit, guys. Give it a minute, it needs to load. So as I go back to this Bitcoin dominance index, right? I mean, Bitcoin dominance should be at 98%. So, I mean, at least Ethereum's going down, but now B trash is coming up, right? So, I mean, all of this garbage fluctuates. And sooner or later, people are going to realize that it's all garbage. So Bitcoin's going to go up based on other shit. So to me, Bitcoin can't actually be in a bubble until the ICOs and altcoins blow up in a bubble. They're in a bubble. Bitcoin's not. Now, can price of Bitcoin correct? Of course it can. You just watched it correct 30%. You just watched it correct 30%. If a stock market corrects 30%, everyone is screaming the bubble has popped, right? So you really have to define a bubble here, right? So if I use the word bubble in Bitcoin, I probably overstated that. I don't believe Bitcoin's in a bubble, but I believe that 30 to 50% corrections are normal and are necessary. Now, do you consider a 33% correction in the price of Bitcoin uh, Bitcoin being in a bubble? Maybe. Maybe some people do, some people don't. Do I consider a 33% correction? I honestly don't even know. Like if we had a 50% correction, then Bitcoin was in a minor price bubble, but it's not in a long-term bubble. So maybe that explains it a little bit. Like the shit coins are in a bubble. Like Ethereum is in a bubble, right? Ethereum's a joke. Ethereum should be zero. It's going to be zero. That's a bubble. I don't expect Bitcoin to be zero, well, ever, ever, right? Unless there is like technological problems I don't know about. And everything that's going on currently with Bitcoin is not technological problems. So that I might try and explain it that way. Um, what do I recommend with B Gold? I don't know. I mean, I haven't split my coins yet. So I'm hoping you guys pump the price so I can get out with some money. I'm gonna sell all of my B Gold. I'm just, I'm gonna wait. Like I'm gonna wait for B Gold to be at like 300, 500. I mean, this shit pumps, right? I never wanted B Gold, but I have B Gold, right? Like I sold my B trash for 10% of the price of Bitcoin. I was happy. I haven't sold my B Gold yet. I don't think I'm gonna sell my B Gold if it's under $200. If it's between 200 and 500, I'll think about it. If B Gold is above 500, I'm selling it. Uh, let's see. Yeah, of course the golden cross is better on a 4-hour chart than a 1-hour chart, right? The higher your time frame, the more relevant it is. What are the probabilities of 5,000 retests at this point? Probably less than 50%. Do oil prices or commodities influence the price of Bitcoin? I don't think so. Can I speak Russian? Yes. My website loads just fine on my cell phone, so I'm not sure what other people's are. I got another super chat. Someone's telling me a thank you from Germany. Yeah, I'm gonna do more work related. I'm gonna talk a little more about the core devs because people need to understand the truth. Oh man, like this chat scrolls too fast. Uh, Shoot, man. Yeah, I think I skipped a bunch. Sorry, guys. What are the probabilities of dropping below 6,800? That's pretty high. I mean, 6,800 is like right here. We're at 6,800 in my opinion. Um, do you store your Bitcoin in cold storage in legacy or SegWit addresses? I'm still in legacy, guys. Um, I'm still in legacy. I guess I'm gonna wait a couple of more days to see if this if someone forks again. You know, like look, I can't get any coins from. You know, I should probably. I mean, you're all aware of the trading seminar now, but so I'm not gonna get any of my what do you call it? What's that new fork of Bcash? I already forgot what it was, right? So Bcash is going to get forked. I'm not going to get any of those because I don't have any Bcash. But you know, if someone still forks Bitcoin, I really do need to put them back in cold storage. But yeah, I'm gonna when I put my coins back in cold storage, whether I use a Trezor or a Ledger or other means, I am going to migrate to SegWit addresses. See, that's the thing. My on-the-go wallet, my on-the-go cell phone wallet is Airbits, and they don't, I think they rebranded to a different name. I don't even know what it is. And they don't have SegWit addresses yet. So I'm not on SegWit addresses, right? Again, it's wallet providers. Wallet providers needed to be ready for SegWit. If your wallet provider was not ready for SegWit, then you know they had a year to get ready. I mean, they had plenty of time, right? Even if you believe in big blocks, you know should have known better. Um, all right, let's see here. How much money do I need? Oh, that's a good question. How much money do I need to trade CME futures? And is it better to trade on BitMax or CME? It's 100% better to trade on CME. And I don't know how much money you will need because they haven't yet announced the leverage on CME futures, right? So I can tell you from my experience of trading gold and oil is I mean, if you have $10,000 in an account, you can comfortably trade one oil or one gold future, right? So, so what the way it works is, let's do oil, right? So oil is like oil is 1,000 contracts, right? So the price of oil is 1,000 contracts. So that means I think it's 1,000 contracts. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's thousand. Sorry, one contract of oil is 1,000 barrels. It's been a while since I traded oil. I think I stopped like a year and a half ago or something. So that means that every dollar move in oil is $1,000 in one contract, right? So for every dollar move in oil, that's $1,000 up and down. You need about a $5,000 margin, right? So here's how it works. You buy an oil future and the exchange takes $5,000 from your account and holds on to it. By the end of the day, oil went down 50 cents. So you lost $500, right? Because 1,000 contracts, 50 cents, right? So you lost $500. So what they do is they take the $500 out of your account, and now they still hold $5,000 in escrow, but you only have $4,500 left if you had 10,000. Okay. And the moment they see that your backup money cannot cover additional escrow for $5,000, they will just sell that contract from under you. Okay. So I'm guessing it's going to be something similar, like that. So probably about 10 grand, and they're all like that, right? Uh, a gold future is like 33 ounces of gold per contract, right? So that means if gold goes up $10, which is about as likely as oil going up $1. So if gold goes up $10, and you have 33 contracts, that's just do the math, right? Sorry, you have 33 ounces. My bad. Sorry, you have one contract is 33 ounces of gold, I believe, right? And if gold goes up, $10, then that's $330. Okay, so there you go. So they will hold like 4 or 5 grand in escrow, and then if gold goes up $10, at the end of the day, they just take that money from your account, and then they readjust the reserve that they're holding. So that's kind of how it works. So my guess is you should have at least 10,000 in your account to trade one contract, and half of it will be in escrow, and half of it will be your backup, so that you don't get liquidated. But we don't know what the leverage is going to be. I'm just guessing. Are transaction fees ever going to be low for Bitcoin? Yeah, of course they are. The transaction fees are going to be low in a couple of weeks when the spam starts. Transaction fees will go back to like 4 cents. How is Bitcoin going to stop the wealthy from becoming wealthier in the long term? It's not. It's not. All right. I'm not here to be a socialist confiscating other people's money, right? Bitcoin was fairly launched. Those that got in early got in early. If they're dumb, they're going to get separated from their money. Am I going to sell my B2X? I mean, if they're worth over $300 each, sure. Same as B Gold. Man. Wow, people really want me to do Litecoin. Why do I hate Ethereum? I think it's a scam. Go watch Crypto Scam Ethereum. I know I need to do like 3 more, but having a problem finding guests. Look, there was 100 credible people that know Ethereum is garbage, but none of them want to go on record and be on camera talking about the garbage of Ethereum because for political reasons, and their business might depend on it because they're selling like Ethereum shovels or something. It's hard to find guests. It's hard to find guests to speak out against CEOs. People want jobs eventually. It's a problem in every field, not just this. I try to use only TA. I try not to use too much intuition, though that statement could be a little contradictory compared to my most favorite indicator telling me to buy already in Bitcoin, and I'm still being hesitant. Guys, we don't have new levels of support yet, right? I mean, 7,000 was resistance, and we're just above it. So, I mean, we're at resistance. I mean, we went a little bit above it. I mean, Bitcoin is hard to predict. We don't have new level. This is the problem. We don't have new levels of support. Let me go back to screen share. This is the problem, right? When you go up so quickly, you don't get a chance to form new levels of support. So I'm looking at the 4-hour chart. I see no new levels of support. All I see is this 7,000 resistance, which we barely broke above. So if we go back to 7,000, I don't know how strong this resistance is going to be. And then we have the 50-day moving average, which could roll back up and meet the price here. We have the breakout of this trend line, which I probably should not have even drawn. We have the 200-hour moving average. So these are 4-hour candles. There's really, when you go up so quickly, you don't get a chance to form new levels of support. So there is no new level of support. Support is still 5,000. Support is still 5,000. Now we can break out above 7,500 and go to 10,000, and then we will establish 7,500 as strong support. But right now, we never got a chance to form any support between 5,400 and the other one. Now, some people in my chat group, I know for a fact, noticed this triangle. Some people in my chat group noticed this triangle and traded it very, very nicely. Someone even tweeted this out to me, and they perfectly traded this triangle, and good for them. I missed it. I can't catch them all. But this was a very nice symmetric triangle off a bull flag. So not exactly how I like to see them, but it worked, and the target reached perfectly. I don't even need to measure it, right? So yeah, if you traded this triangle, you did well. What can I say? Good job, man. Now, the person specifically said that they learned this technique from me. And hey, listen, it's great when students become better teachers than the teachers, right? Nothing wrong with that. Good job. You saw it, you traded it, you didn't wait for me to hold your hand. Good job. What can I say? All right, I got some tips. Tone, I have a question. How is the spamming of the mempool expensive? If it is the miners and fees go back to them. Moreover, I think they spam it with transactions with low fees. I agree. I agree. It's not that expensive, right? I mean, it's a little expensive. I mean, you gotta have developer cost. You gotta do it at the proper time. I mean, look, time is money, right? Time is money. So even if you're paying a developer to properly spam, you're wasting money paying a developer to spam. Like, look, as much as I hate Bcash, I'm not gonna use my money to hire a professional spammer, right? Like, that, it's not a good use of my money. It's not a good use of my time, right? So every minute that the Bcash people are spending time coordinating spam attacks, it's costing them money over doing something productive, right? Over building another miner, whatever. Okay. And yeah, they do get the fees back in their mining, but I mean, if they're spamming Bitcoin and mining Btrash, they're not really collecting those fees now, are they? So there you go. All right, you got another tip. If you were planning a large purchase for a long-term hold, would you buy now or wait a week and see what happens with the potential bull trap? I'd buy now. I wouldn't wait. I gotta be careful on whose channels I'm a guest on now. I don't want to like people are like, "Hey, I'm starting my YouTube channel. Can you be my guest?" And I'm like, "No, not anymore." I mean, the time to get me as a guest is when I needed, when I was building my following, right? People are always emailing me trying to now use my large standing in the community and my following to bring them more followers. Now, Jimmy Song just opened the channel. I am friends with Jimmy Song. I want him to have more followers. So I am a guest on his channel, and we're kind of, going to cross working together. But I'm not here to help other people build up their channels. It took me a long time to get here, guys. I've been a content creator in Bitcoin for 3 years for free. So no, you got to put your licks in. You got to put your licks in, right? It's not easy. It's dedication, it's time, dealing with trolls. Got to do it on your own. All right? Got to build value into your own brand. All right, guys. I guess I can close out with a look at Litecoin. Multiple people are asking. All right, let me see. Not BTC anymore because BTC went down, but let me open my Litecoin. Yeah, so these were saved on October 24th. That's the last time I ever looked at Litecoin, was October 24th. And this one is even older. It's intraday Polo. I guess I'll look at it. But all right, what's this? So whatever I'm looking at here, oh, wow. That was not bad, right? Yeah, here it is, October 23rd, right? So the last time I looked at it was during this candle number 6, and I drew these arrows, and I mean, I don't know. I don't know, guys. It looks ugly. I mean, look, here's Litecoin. You're stuck under the 50-week moving average. Yes, you have this 9, but what does this 9 mean? It means a 1 to 4 day correction, and then probably lower, right? So I drew these arrows almost a month ago. I drew these arrows 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago or something, and I'm going to stick with it, right? I mean, you have a monster resistance point right here at 0.011. And if you can break above it, great. But if you can't, then down we go into a 13 count, right? So no, I'm not very optimistic in Litecoin versus Bitcoin. I mean, I got this arrow right. Let's see. I mean, I'm leaving it as is. Again, I have not seen this since the 24th of October. Well, that looks bad, right? Because see, this is how I like to see my top. Wow, this is like perfect. So once we too bad. Maybe I should have been looking at Litecoin. This is definitely tradable, right? Like this is what I mean, right? You had, probably should extend this even, right? So you have this point of support, right? Look, it acted as support here, and then here again, and then sooner or later it's gonna break, right? And then once it broke, look what happened. I mean, this is textbook, right? This is absolutely textbook. I mean, wow, I should like teach this indicator and like make this as an example, like just, scrap the asset because the asset's irrelevant, right? I mean, look at what happened here. I drew this giant arrow on the 24th, 26th. Okay, last time I looked at this chart. I probably looked at it on the 25th. I drew the arrow from the following day, right? And I drew this thing down. Now look what happened here, right? Yeah, I guess I went a little overboard, right? But you had a 9, 13, 9, right? The 13 came before the 9. Now, this is critical. I can turn on the back test. That's critical, right? Because you had this 9. See, this 13 came after this 9. That's very, very different, right? The 13 coming before the 9 versus after the 9 is very different. This 13 coming after the 9, I knew 13 count had already started. So now that we have a 13 count coming from this 9, it concluded right before this 9. This is a classic 9, 13, 9. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just Google it. 9, 13, 9. It's not hard, right? Everyone is like, Tone, well, what indicator are you using? Well, outside of, Google treating it like a math formula, telling me that it equals -13, all you got to do is scroll down. Just scroll down. This is not rocket science. Okay. Very easy to figure out what the hell I'm doing. Okay. And read it. Read it. Okay. The 939 is a very powerful reversal signal. And here it is. And it immediately took you to the opposite side. And now the price flip is immediately flipping. And look, it gave you a reversal candle in the vicinity of the 9. It stopped in the vicinity of the declining 50-day moving average. It stopped right on the dot at this very critical horizontal support resistance point. I mean, I don't know how much more obvious this should have been to Litecoin traders. It's going down. Okay? From that point, from this 9, from this 7, from this 8, like there were signs. There were signs. I talked about this moving average cross. It's bad. It's ugly. Look what happened the last time we had a similar cross on the flip side. Right here. Right? Right? I mean, granted, it's not the kind of cross I want to see, because I want to see the price near the cross when it happens, but shit happens. So look at the monster good move after it crossed to the upside. Why do you assume that the opposite isn't going to happen on the death cross? That's why it's called a death cross for a reason. When a 50 goes below the 200, you can read about it on, well, not here. This is my seminar. You can learn about it if you attend my seminar in Toronto, but you can learn about it in my Learn Trading section right here on my website. And for private consulting, you got to go to this one right here, consulting. All right. I'm spending too much time on this. So the daily is ugly, guys. How low can it go? I don't know. Right? So now there's two possibilities here, right? This could be a 1 to 4 day correction, then higher, though I doubt it. This is most likely a complete reversal back to the downside. Now, the moment it gets back to this level and goes below it, shit's supposed to get ugly. Okay? Just like in Bitcoin. What happened when we fell below 7? All right? So this point is no different than this point, but in reverse. All right? So there you go. Ideally, you want to hit another 9 and then reverse. But if you fall to here, all right, fine, I'll do it. All right, I'll draw it out for you. The most probable scenario is this. And then this. And then this. That's the most likely scenario with a green arrow somewhere in the middle of that, right? So I mean, that's kind of what I'm looking at. Your MACD is about to cross. It's not good. Not good. I mean, had I seen this 913.9 to the downside, I would have said, hey, this is off of this monster hammer. I would have said, hey, this might be a bounce opportunity. I mean, look, they all look the same. Look, you see this 913.9 right here on Litecoin? That's exactly what it looked like on B-Trash, right? I mean, where's B-Trash? We talked about this on Jimmy's channel earlier. If I go to 1 day, right? I mean, here's B-Trash. It's a little different. The 13 came before the 9, right? So here, 9, 9, 13. So this was the opposite. See, this is why I would have been way more bullish Litecoin and a lot less bullish B-Trash. So. All right, guys, I think I'm done. I think this is already an hour. and 40 minutes, even though my intention was to keep these under an hour by dropping traditional markets. I'll try and if I have some time to do a bunch of homework today on traditional markets, I'll do a traditional market video tomorrow. Oh man, my watch is upstairs. Damn it. I got my Cryptomatic. I think you guys saw the Twitter. I don't know. Maybe I can pull up the. I'm too lazy to run upstairs and get my watch. But I finally got a little toy for myself. Yeah, so if you are interested in a Cryptomatic, I have a discount code below the video. If you want to buy a hardware wallet, I have a discount code below the video. I wish TradingView would give me a discount code, but it's just an affiliate code. I haven't talked to anybody at one broker. No one really uses it all that much, but I wish I had a discount code for you, but it's just an affiliate code. And I do have a discount code for the Magic Money documentary, the only documentary I've been in so far. So go ahead and please like the video, please share the video, subscribe, and use the affiliate links if you're going to use these products. One broker is, of course, risky because they're an anonymous exchange. But I use it with a little bit of money playing around when I want to, go long or short gold with using Bitcoin. All right, guys, on that note, I am done for the day. I'll try and send out another tweet. I got to spend less time tweeting and replying to people and more time doing research so I can bring you more information. All right, thank you for sticking around, and I'll see you all on the next one. Once again, this has been Trading Bitcoin, the new rebranded show about Bitcoin technicals. Bye, guys. Oh, and sign up for the seminar, Toronto, December 9th. Or actually email me to sign up for it. Only 20 spots. Bye, guys.